As Donald Trump was getting his ass handed to him in fundraising during the 2020 general election, he decided to think outside the box. And with the help of a GOP campaign platform known as Win Red, he decided to set up weekly recurring donations by default to any of his supporters who dared donate any money to his campaign. I mean, this story shows you exactly the type of person Donald Trump is. And look, if the evidence that was provided following Trump having to pay a $22 million settlement to students he defrauded wasn't enough evidence for you, maybe this will help you out a little bit. So one of the individuals who was scammed is a man named Victor Amelino. He's a 78-year-old Californian who referred to the Trump campaign as bandits. He had made a $990 online donation to Trump in early September via WinRed. It recurred 7 more times without his knowledge, adding up to almost $8,000. He said, "I'm retired. I can't afford to pay all that damn money." Neither could a cancer patient who was also scammed in a similar way. Unfortunately, he's passed away, but he did find out that he was scammed prior to passing away. And so how exactly did Donald Trump do this? Well, as the New York Times reports in their investigation, in the final 2.5 months of the 2020 election, the Trump campaign, the Republican National Committee, and their shared accounts issued more than 530,000 refunds worth $64.3 million to online donors. The Trump operation refunded dwarfed that of Biden, not Biden Jr. I mean, Biden Jr. is his actual name, but anyway, campaign and his equivalent Democratic committees, which made 37,000 online refunds totaling $5.6 million in that time. So on one hand, you got Trump having to issue $64.3 million in refunds. And just to show you how insane that is, you can compare it to what Biden's campaign had to issue in refunds, which is about $5.6 million. Now, refunds happen for a number of different reasons. For instance, if you as an individual have contributed more than you can by law, there are election laws indicating that you can only donate a certain amount. Well, then the campaigns have no choice but to give you a refund. But that is not what happened with Trump. With Trump, he did something incredibly shady. What he did was he had a box checked off that indicated, by default, that indicated that the donation would be recurring. At first, it would be a recurring donation each month. And then he decided to up the ante a little bit and made the default recurring contribution every week. And I do have some details about how that looked on the website. It was intentionally opaque. It was intentionally made to essentially lie and mislead his donors. So this is what it originally looked like, right? It was in order for you to not get charged multiple times, you would have to go out of your way to check that box off, like that you don't want to do this. It was checked off by default. So make this a monthly recurring donation. And then it also checked the box, let's break a fundraising record on Trump's birthday, join now. This additional donation will be processed on June 14th. Then they switched it to this, Francesca. They've switched it over to make this a weekly recurring donation until November 3rd. And then the second box is President Trump, I debate Joe Biden on September 29th, and I need to know that I have your support. Join the Trump Cash Blitz now. And that's of course in all bold, and then in non-bold lettering, donate an additional $100 automatically on September 29th. And I'll show you how it further devolves in a minute, but I wanted you to jump in, Francesca.
Yeah, I mean, this is so on brand, right? You want to be surprised, but it's like, of course, this is exactly what this campaign would do. And I'm surprised there wasn't another box at the very end that was like, did you really want to uncheck that? Because I'm pretty sure, oops, refresh, start over. And the other thing to know is that Trump mailers, sadly somehow I ended up on the Trump email list, and you can't get off, like pretty much any political email list. And they're nothing but, how do you think Trump is doing? Hey, it's Tuesday, it's Monday. How do you think Trump is feeling? Good, great, amazing. He-Man, Iron Man level, right? And there's all this hyperbole, right? And so it's like, it's not that crazy to read these emails and be like, oh, they're just hyperbolically asking if I love Trump. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Wait a minute, my firstborn, like my home, but it's so easy because of the way the campaign has been run anyway to just be like, how much do you love him? And then of course, just automatically charging them all of this money. I mean, it is insane amounts of money. That is so much money, and that is the difference between people making payments on electric bills or not. But he doesn't care because he's never cared.
I mean, he's been finding ways to scam fans and supporters of his for a long time now. I mean, he was caught using his charitable foundation to enrich himself. He was literally using the proceeds of his own charitable foundation to buy massive portraits of himself. He, of course, defrauded students through Trump University and had to pay a $22 million settlement as a result. And then this, campaign grift doesn't surprise me, especially when you consider that following the outcome of the 2020 general election, Trump was putting out all sorts of emails in an attempt to fundraise. And the way that he presented it was to make it seem as though he was fundraising in order to pursue this legal battle to uncover widespread voter fraud. Then you read the fine print and it's like, no, it's actually gonna mostly go to my political action committee. I might do other political stuff in the future, right? Yeah, like that's what he does. He scams you guys. Yes, they're bandits. Congratulations. It's been, 4 long years of evidence indicating this has been going on. And I mean, I'm just specifically talking about his term. There was more evidence of that even before he was president, but people didn't care. They just decided, okay, great, I'm just gonna let him keep scamming me. And I'm gonna show you the last version of the fundraising effort here. And just, take a look at how it's written, how it's misleading, what they've chosen to make bold. So in bold writing, it says, this is the final month until election day, and we need every patriot stepping up. If we're going to win 4 more years for President Trump, he's revitalizing our economy, restoring law and order, and returning us to the American greatness. But he's not done yet. This is your chance. Stand with President Trump and maximize your impact now. And then in non-bold lettering, make this a weekly recurring donation until November 3rd. And then right underneath that, there's a second box. Again, it's already checked for you. You would have to uncheck the box in order to avoid getting charged. And it's a similar strategy. You see it. It's like a long, bloviating, paragraph about how great Trump is and how you can save him. And then in one sentence, in non-bold letters and non-bold font, you have the truth that you're about to get charged an additional $100 automatically on October 9th. It's amazing.
Which was called by WinRed a money bomb. That's what they called the automatic checking of those boxes. And WinRed is a for-profit company. So like the Democratic version would be Act Blue, which is a nonprofit. WinRed is a for-profit company, and they even made money from the reimbursements. So when they would, they had to reimburse folks for the money that they took without their permission. And then they made money on that. And I haven't verified this, but I'm pretty sure that came from the same person. It's like when you order something online and you forget to check if there's free returns, and then you've got to pay for a return. And you're like, oh my God, why do I shop online?
I hate that scam. I hate it. The restocking fee. Oh, I have to pay the restocking fee. Aren't you employing people and paying people to do the restocking? Why am I paying the restocking fee? Biggest. Don't get me started. Continue.
No. But I mean, at this point, right? You got to ask yourself, at what point are people paying for the GOP to lie to them, right? It's just like, take it, I believe you. Just lie to me more, and then you're a crook. I love it. It's so masochistic, right? or sadomasochistic. I don't know. It's kinky, but it's a gross kinky. But Republicans keep it's not a good kink, not a good look, not a good kink. And of course, Fox News won't cover any of this. They don't talk about Trump University. They don't talk about the Trump, foundation. And I don't know if we're getting to our presidential library story, but that's gonna be a whole other money suck if Trump ever does do one.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a great point about the library. There's no question he's going to look for private donors to help fund that library. But one of the other things to keep in mind, because some might think, well, I mean, they refunded the money. What's the big deal? It is a big deal because, as Francesca mentioned, there's a charge that comes along with getting that refund. But on top of that, essentially what Trump did was secure an interest-free loan for himself for the election because he needed that money. He had not been able to keep up with Joe Biden in regard to fundraising. And then what did he do in order to have the funds available to refund all these individuals? He engaged in that ridiculous challenge voter fraud fundraising effort and used that money not to actually challenge the legitimacy of the 2020 election because they didn't have a shred of evidence indicating there was voter fraud. He used it to pay back the previous individuals he scammed. But make no mistake, there's still a bunch of people out there, especially those who contributed to his legal efforts, who have been scammed and remain scammed and still think that he's their guy, looking out for them, looking out for their best interests, man of the people, fighter for the blue collar workers. It's just a complete and utter joke.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.